All right, Congressman, let's begin. Boy, this is kind of playing right into your hands. I've been following your tweets. You're critical of Donald Trump trying to kill this spending bill. Bill, you're even more critical of Elon Musk. Did you call him President Musk, or is that another member of your party who called him that? Go ahead.
Well, apparently that's the way it's shaping up under the next Trump administration. The congressional Republicans take their orders from Donald Trump. Donald Trump takes his orders from Elon Musk. That's what's happened over the last 24 hours. But this is not just, people playing games. There are real implications in the lives of everyday Americans here. We are a week away from Christmas, and they are threatening to shut down the government, which would mean that millions of families would not get their paychecks. Military families, people who work at the FAA, air traffic controllers, at the worst possible time. And why? Because Elon Musk put out a tweet. This is not the way to run a government, and we have to do better.
Well, I guess Donald Trump said the why would be that they're buried in this was a pay hike for Congress, a cost of living adjustment about $6,000, all kinds of unrelated policy matters. That's the New York Times language, by the way, unrelated policy matters. And it's just giving Chuck Schumer free reins to spend up, loot the cash register before the inaugural. He does have a side of the story, doesn't he, Congressman?
Well, no, what's happening here is that Elon Musk, a billionaire who doesn't have to worry about how he's going to pay his credit card bill after Christmas to pay for Christmas presents for his kids, is saying shut down the government, and with no regard for the impact that would have on millions of people who are worried about how they're going to pay their credit card bill after Christmas. And if the Republicans had an issue with what was in the bill, then they had every opportunity during the negotiation to say so. By the way, the congressional pay raise was put in by House Republicans. That was not something that Democrats asked for. But regardless, the position that Musk and Trump have come out with in the last 24 hours is contradictory. On the one hand, they're saying there's too much government spending. On the other hand, they're saying they want more money for disaster relief and more money for farm subsidies. And they're saying they want to eliminate the debt ceiling. So saying that they want to cut spending because we're taking on too much debt, but they also want to eliminate the cap on how much the country can borrow, it's a contradictory set of things that they're laying out there. And frankly, I don't think they even know what they want because they haven't come out with a clear position. And to do this now at the last minute, right before a possible shutdown and right before the holidays, is wildly irresponsible. And I hope that it's not indicative of what the next Trump-Musk administration is going to look like.
Well, you and I are taping on a Thursday. What's your outlook here? Tomorrow's the deadline. You're going to get this done?
I mean, right now it's in the court of congressional Republicans and Donald Trump and Elon Musk. I mean, they are debating amongst themselves what they want to do. They can't seem to come up with a coherent plan, and they certainly don't have a plan for what to do, in terms of getting a bill through the Senate and signed by President Biden, because they haven't even figured out how to pass a bill through the House. Again, Elon Musk and Donald Trump have thrown the entire system into chaos at the last minute. This negotiation had been going on for months. And, there was plenty of time. If Elon wanted to insert himself, I'm sure he could have done it a week or two ago, not at the last second. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people in Rhode Island who are going to be facing real financial consequences if this shutdown goes into effect.
Yeah, let me just bring you back to that New York Times article. I'm sure you've read it today. The bill contains stuffed full of unrelated policy measures, as well as tens of billions of dollars in disaster and agricultural aid. So there is plenty of important stuff in here, but was it loaded up just before Christmas time for gifts for districts at home, Congressman?
Well, I think both sides, Republicans and Democrats, had priorities that they wanted included in the bill. There were priorities in there, for example, to support the submarine program at Quonset in Rhode Island, which is important not just for local jobs in our state, but also for our nation's security. There was stuff in there to support research into cancer. I mean, there was a lot of good things in there. There were also some things in there that, frankly, I didn't like very much, but that's part of how a negotiation works. And so, there were things that Democrats wanted, things that Republicans wanted, things that didn't make it through into the final version. That's how negotiating works. But again, if Elon Musk or Donald Trump had concerns, they had every opportunity to call up Speaker Johnson and make their concerns known before the last minute, and risk throwing the country into chaos.
Well, there's no question Musk went in there and figuratively threw the table over, and we're at an impasse now. Let me ask you on just a quick other topic. I know you tweeted out about the drones, and you basically repeated what the White House statement has been, that there's nothing here to see. They're all legal and lawful. And yet, I've got to tell you, Congressman, that kind of took me by surprise, because the people of New Jersey and your counterparts in Congress from New Jersey and New York and parts of Connecticut think otherwise. They think something's up. It's too many in one spot. They're mysterious. We've never seen them before. Don't you think there's a little more to it, Congressman? By the way, there are a couple of your district, too.
Yeah, thank you, Jane. It's an important question. Let me be very specific about what I said. We have not found any evidence of a large number of drones in New Jersey in the last few weeks being manipulated by a hostile actor. That doesn't mean that we know what every single drone sighting is, right? But the ones that the Department of Homeland Security or the FBI have been able to find out what they are have all so far had innocent explanations. They were small civilian aircraft, civilian operated drones, etc. They don't know what every single one of them is, though. Just to be clear, what I said is that the ones that they have been able to identify so far have not had any nefarious operators. Now,
well, you're amplifying a little bit on your response now, which I'm glad you did, because it almost sounded like you were parroting the White House statement. But you're saying now the other unexplained ones, what do you think they are? Do you think it's the Chinese or the Iranians or it's us? What do you think they are? And are you going to demand answers? They were over Smithfield, 116 and 44.
Yeah, look, I'm a member of the Homeland Security Committee. We've had several meetings now with the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security in both classified and unclassified settings, where we have asked a lot of tough questions. And the answers, and I'm just being straight with people, is that so far there is no evidence that these drones are being flown by hostile actors, whether that's foreign actors or domestic criminal organizations. That being said, I am glad we are having this conversation, because there are other examples from around the country of bad actors using drones, and we need to deal with that. For example, there's a real issue with drones being flown at the southern border by cartels to locate where Border Patrol personnel are to make it easier to cross the border. There's a real issue, and we've heard about this even in Rhode Island, with drones being used at prisons to fly contraband in. So I do think that we need to take action to give state and local law enforcement more authority to bring down drones that are operating in places where they should not be operated. Yeah. So even though some of the stories that are out there about what might be happening in New Jersey, I have not seen any evidence to support those stories. I absolutely believe that we need to give state and local law enforcement more authority to engage in counter drone measures when needed, because there are real problems with drones around the country.
All right, Congressman, I think we'll hold it there. Thanks for joining me. Good to see you. Merry Christmas.
You too, Gene. Thank you.